I'm Mr. Hurd, and today we're going to learn how to draw a variety of different cartoon faces. So today I'm going to start with making a circle, and I'm going to put my pencil vertically and go around and around, lift my palm and my elbow up so I have the movement to just go round and round. Then I'm going to split my circle into 4 segments. So for our nose, I'm going to go real simple. The upside down 7. I'm going to bring it down and then give a little bit of a curve in. A lot of you can do that. Then I'm going to make something I call 6 eyes, and they look like 6s. First I have to decide where they go. So I'm going to look at this line segment about halfway. Look at this line segment about halfway. And then just make sure my loose planning lines here that I can erase later on. Okay, then I'm going to make a 6, the very best 6 I can. And you can see it doesn't look exactly like a 6, but that's one easy way to make an eye. And I'm using that line, that guideline, to make sure that they're both at the right spot. Now it's going to look closer to the nose because the nose is heading that way. And we'll get into more realistic noses on later lessons. Then I'm going to give some eyebrows, just plan out where they go. And I'm just giving a benign expression, an expression not too happy, not too sad, thick to thin. Make a little curve here and bring it closer, thick to thin. I want you to think of a capital M. I'm going to draw it up here. Okay, there's a capital M, and I'm going to stretch it out. Okay, and that's going to be the center of my mouth. The mouth is going to go from eyeball to eyeball. There at the midline, I'm going to make that V and bring it out. Now that's pretty straight, so I'm going to add some curve the lines a little bit. Then I'm going to make an upper lip. Okay. And then the lower lip I'm going to make much smaller, much shorter, but fatter. Okay. Maybe add some dimples on the side. I'm going to clean up my drawing using my ink pen. And on the eyes, I'm going to find 2 reflection points, and they both go to the same light source. And then I'm going to start making pencil flicks where I press hard and then release, like a plane taking off, and use that to make eyelashes. I'm going to give her a pretty sharp chin, cheekbones next to the eyes. This is another chance to find symmetry. Okay, notice my big curved circle was pretty vague, but now I'm getting more specific. Then I'm going to connect the dots, going to pick a place, and then I'm going to connect them with straight lines. Now I can always curve it more, but I'm trying to make this as simple as possible so everyone can do it. Now it's time for the ears. Your ears go from your eyebrows to the base of your nose. Check it out in the mirror. Then I'm going to draw a little curve to show the cartilage at the top of the ear. And then another little curve covering the hole inside the ear. And then finally a third line to symbolize the intricate part of the inside of the ear. Now you notice I didn't do the lobe. That's because I'm going to make a double curve here. And that represents an earring. Okay. Now you might be saying that this looks unrealistic, and I would agree. And we'll be doing other lessons, or I hope to be doing other lessons that show more realistic styles and the head from different views. Notice I make the neck at least as wide as the eyes, and then I add some curvature to the bottom. Next, it's time for hair. And the hair, in cartooning, I show the hair as having two lines. An inner hairline that separates the skin from the hair, and then an outer hairline that separates the hair from the air. So I'm going to start in front of her ears, these little sideburns. Bring them up near her ear, her eyebrow, pardon me. And then bring her hair to a point at the midline, at the nose line. Now, right above the nose line, that's going to be my natural part. That's where I'm going to start the hair. So the hair is going to go this way and this way. And I'm not going to give her straight hair. I'm going to give her curly hair. The hard part about curly hair is, first of all, I don't do loops. And I try to show the curls in little bumps, and I try not to have a pattern. So I go up and down. It's hard not to have a pattern though. And you can always have a little wave if you want to have a stray curl popping out. And then I'm going to continue her hair so she can have short hair that comes down and gathers behind her neck. Or I can have the curves get bigger and bigger and go behind her shoulder. So either short hair or long hair. It's up to you. I also wanted to give you lots of tools for drawing different kind of faces. So today we went over how to draw 6 eyes. You make a 6, and then the hard part is you make another 6 that's similar to it in the opposite direction, make a reflection curve, and fill it in. And you can always add things like, little crow's feet, eyelids. Okay, you can really add things to it to make it look better and more expressive. And then another tool is to draw a U. All of us can make a 6, all of us can make a U. But when you make a U for drawing cartoon eyes, I really suggest you start with 2 11s. And remember, the goal is symmetry. You build the eyes simultaneously. So I make the sides of the U and the bottom of the U. I add an eyelid. I add an eyelid over here. I made these big reflection lines here, or curves. A pupil that's totally dark. You can also add other reflection points. Sometimes that's popular in manga or Japanese comics. You can add some wrinkles here to add more character. The U's don't have to be big though. I'm going to make my 11s. Add my reflection points. And then this time I'm making longer lids. Notice the U's are further apart. I use this a lot. You can also make those same U's. And make even more realistic eyelids. Again, notice how I'm doing one and then the other. Two eyes that are pretty symmetrical that I build at the same time. So with this, you can make even smaller U's, making them more realistic, different sizes. You don't have to go big, you can go small. And that's kind of a repeat of what I just did. I call these eyes window shades, and they're highly exaggerated. But again, sometimes you see this type. I've had students say, I want to start drawing like, the manga I see, or the Japanese animation. How do I get started? How do I practice something like this? And I suggest that you build it slowly, like I did. And Japanese, this is not exactly Japanese animation, and a lot of you who are into it will be like, that's not right, Mr. Hurd. I know. But again, I'm trying to show what you can do if you're just getting started. Okay, then very common in cartoons is circle eyes. And I have a lot of students who get very frustrated because it's very hard to draw. I'm going to try it right now, to draw two circles that are the same size. When I was a young person, I struggled with this all the time. Now, the great part about making these circle eyes is that you can add eyelids so easily. And unlike our real eyelids in reality, in cartoons, eyelids can show emotion, and they do all the time. However, what I learned when I was younger is that if you put the eyes right next to each other, one behind the other, they do not have to be the same. In fact, this eye is a little bit further away from us, so it's a little bit smaller. Therefore, I can make it smaller. And if you look at a lot of famous comics, like from newspapers, they use this technique and then they put the nose in the middle. Okay, so you draw the first circle as best you can, and then you add the other one behind it. Now, the bad part about this is it locks you into something called three-quarter view. So I'm going to do a little nose there, big eyes, big expression. But now the hard part is it's in three-quarters view. And in three-quarters view, you see two eyes and one ear. You do not see the other ear. So these are easy eyes to do, but then they make a more challenging face. If you want to draw this face, I'll promise to make more lessons online. Noses. I remember when I was very young and trying to draw, and my dad said, if you can make a 6, you can make a nose. Just don't finish. And same thing with upside down 7s. Just add this little curl for the nostril. And you'll get good at adding things like little bumps to make them look more Romanesque, okay? Add a little mustache down here and it can become like Luigi. I know that is stereotyping again against my Italian brothers. Sorry about that. And then for the more forward view, if you look at Japanese animation, sometimes all they add is a little V. Sometimes all they do is just this little bit of shading. They don't even add a nose. For those who want to be more realistic, if you think about your nose, you can just press your nose and you can find that fleshy ball at the end. Make a little U there. Then I'm going to add a nostril on the side with this little sideways S curve. And you can augment that and turn it into, depending on how big your person's nostrils are. Okay, you can make those nostrils even bigger. And then you can add a shadow. So if I had a realistic face, that's much longer, right? And I will promise to do another lesson on this online. So there's my more realistic face. My eyes and my nose is going to be this long. Little U's, long eyelids, eyebrow, and then fleshy part of the nose, nostril. You have all this dead space. You decide where your light source is going to be. My light is coming from over here. So the shadow of my nose is going to come across the bridge and then down, and just slight lines. Maybe I have a line over here, but you don't want to define the nose too much. Remember, the more detail you add to your cartoon drawing, the more attention you draw to it. So if you don't want the nose to draw attention, don't add too much detail to it. Okay, that's a little preview for a future lesson. Good luck and have fun.